Back at Kevin Durant's career, and we're going to start with getting drafted.
Look at Mama one.
Second overall. I had to tell Jabari Smith Jr. that he wasn't first overall by the Supersonics. It's okay. No one remembers that. In 2007, KD scored 20 points per game that year, the most by a rookie in a franchise. Team moved to Oklahoma City. He spent the next 8 seasons, won 4 scoring titles, and the real MVP. He averaged 27.4 points per game overall, the most in the Thunder Supersonics franchise history. And then, of course, left for Golden State, won 2 finals MVPs, made it to 3 finals in 3 years, scored almost 26 points per game in the regular season, up that to nearly 30 a game in the playoffs. Ooh-wee. And then his tenure ended with a torn Achilles, caused him to miss the first of 3 seasons with Brooklyn, averaged 28.7 points per game with the Nets, won just 1 playoff series, as you pointed out yesterday, Richard, in Brooklyn. You can see him there hugging his mom. So he's one of 2 players in NBA history to average 25 points per game for 3 different franchises in NBA history, along with LeBron James. And Durant now has a chance to be the only player to do that for 4 different teams. That's once a trade happens and once it is finalized. Okay. Kevin Durant era in Brooklyn. I know you guys aren't ready to call it an era.
It's not an
3
era.
years is not an era make. So the Kevin Durant time in Brooklyn.
No, don't be.
Period in Brooklyn.
It was a failure.
It didn't go as planned. I think that's fair to say, right? But he's still a walking bucket, an all-time great player. So let's say hypothetically he were to go into the Hall of Fame tomorrow, because he's a Hall of Fame hands-down player. Which team would he represent?
So I had our great Kevin Pelton on my podcast last night. We had this exact discussion. He brought it up because we were talking about Durant's strange career arc or rare career arc. And he said, if you look at all the cities that Kevin Durant has played in, the one where he's possibly most beloved universally is Seattle, which doesn't even have a team. And when Kevin told me that was so real that it was like a gut punch to me on behalf of Kevin Durant.
Can I remember him playing there?
But I'm saying, because Oklahoma City, hard feelings. Golden State, I mean, I don't even know if they're hard feelings. There's a lot of feelings. Brooklyn, disaster. And so when he said that, I was like, this is exactly why Kevin Durant needs to nail this move to sort of reclaim that aspect of his career. All that said, I know it was hard feelings upon his departure. I remember the cupcake stuff. I remember how poisonous it was when he came back.
Yeah.
I think time will heal a lot of that, and what he did to make basketball sustainable in Oklahoma City and put that franchise on the map, I think ultimately, if you're asking me what hat he wears at the Hall of Fame or whatever you want to say, that's the one of the 3 teams he's played for.
Rich?
Seattle, I understand. He's definitely beloved because that was the last thing they remember in Seattle.
Exactly.
And Seattle is an amazing basketball town. We need to get a team back there as soon as possible. So I see that aspect. But there's just too much time has gone by. So it's like a portion of people that remember it. But, you know, these generations, they don't remember that. These kids, they don't. But I still stand by Golden State. Like, I understand what he did. I understand what he did in Oklahoma City and making basketball sustainable. But he took another jump. Now, I understand they won before him and they won afterwards, right? Like, they won in Miami before LeBron James came, and they've been very close to winning again since he left, right? But I think when you look at, what Kevin Durant did there, and really he was the reason that they became a dynasty. Yeah. Right? Because even Draymond Green on his podcast said, or on JJ Redick's podcast said, I don't think that we win the next year without Kevin Durant. So then all this dynasty talk kind of gets shut down. Not saying that they wouldn't have won another championship, because they've proven that they will. But ultimately, I think his time in Golden State is the time that really pushed him to another level. And I just think part of the reason why there was tension there is because he didn't feel that another level of love. When LeBron James won that title in Cleveland, all of the love that was showered on him. He just didn't feel that love. He felt like he had to go do it someplace else, but his time in Golden State was the most special point.
Well, and Golden State has said already that they would retire his jersey. Perk?
You know what? My grandpa used to say, a stripes on a zebra never change. And what KD has shown us, a stripes on a zebra.
A tiger.
No,
they both have stripes.
Never change, okay?
Zebra to zebra or the same zebra?
Can we let him?
Yeah, go ahead.
And what I've come to realize is that Kevin Durant don't care about being loved.
No.
And he shouldn't care. So why should we care which fan base actually love Kevin Durant?
Because we got 3 hours of talk.
Because at the end of the day, he's going down in the Hall of Fame.
Facts.
It don't matter if none of those teams retire his jersey. what matters the most is that he's going into the Hall of Fame. So how about not being loved? How about just being the villain? How about being the bad guy your entire career? You still gonna respect his greatness. Now that's what it comes down to. Forget being loved. Long as they show him the respect, nobody cares about being loved. And then on top of that, I look at a guy that I played with by the name of Ray Allen. He played for Boston. He played for Seattle. He played for Milwaukee. He played for Miami. Is his jersey hanging up anywhere?
I got an easy
He's
answer.
in the Hall of Fame.
When they put this question to me, I had the easiest answer. The hat he's going to wear when he goes to the Hall of Fame, or the jersey, however you want to look at it, he hasn't put on yet. It's going to be the next stop. Because all these places, I don't think he's going to necessarily be comfortable. Oklahoma City, for me, is clearly the one that would be the one. If he was going to end his career, say, in Brooklyn and not win, it would be the Thunder. That's where he won his MVP. He poured his heart and soul into getting to that team to the finals. That was his team.
Yeah.
Golden State never felt like his team. We all concur. I think he was the best player on those teams that won titles. It never felt like his. I think it was less fulfilling to him by the end of that second one than he ever thought it would be, because it didn't feel that way to him. Now, he checked off certain things on his resume he had to do. He won finals MVPs, he did all that. And then they won before and they won after. So that, to me, is not going to be something that he's going to go down that road. Seattle, I think, just 1 year is not going to do it. Brooklyn, obviously, is not going to be it. I think it's the next stop. He's got 4 years on a deal. If he goes to one of these franchises that hasn't won recently or at all, and he's the guy that drives that, and it feels like his team, that's the jersey he's going to wear in the Hall of Fame.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.